Ah! All right. We're gonna.
We ain't talking about anything.
Hey, you forgot something.
Welcome back to Toys for the Boys.
No.
What?
I hid your mic somewhere, and you gotta find it. We're playing a quick game. And most of it's gonna.
in frame.
It's in the frame, yes.
It's in the frame?
Yes. It's literally in the frame.
If it's in the frame, it's over here. I found it. Welcome back to Toys for the Boys. On today's episode, we will be going over how to Fitment Industries your wheels.
Fitment Industries Euro Wheels.
If you have a common car, you can go to Fitment Industries, and they have a plethora of pictures and customer uploaded specs on sizing and fitment for tires based on what you want to do. If you want to go for show or for track use or whatever you want. But today we're going to show you how to figure it out at home. And if you live under a rock without internet and you can't go on Fitment Industries, which doesn't make sense because they're watching this video on YouTube, so they should have internet.
That is true. But I mean, this video, I was like, in my head, I was like, wait, how do people, well, first of all, I wanted wheels for my car. So I told this guy, hey, just measure everything the way I want it. Do I want 20s, 21s, 19s? I don't know, right?
What car is that?
It's an Aston Martin Vantage. I personally don't know how to measure the wheels, how the width work. And
so I use Fitment Industries as a baseline to know what other people have run. I don't need it specifically. It's like I haven't been on there to see exactly if someone's posted what wheel and tire setup that I have, because the setup that I have is pretty aggressive and you need to do some trimming and some custom suspension and a lot of stuff. So I don't know if anyone's gone to that extent on their website, but I use it as a baseline. It's like, hey, I know these can fit because these are common sizes and I can find these wheels on like Facebook or Craigslist or whatever. So it's more of a guideline, but it's nice that all the information's laid out on their website that you can look at and it'll be like, hey, I'm close to this guy's size. It should or might fit.
But also, like you said, everybody have like different, style.
Every shoe fits differently.
Exactly. The way he wants it might be different than the way you guys want it. And also, how much do you guys trust internet?
Kichi, we're on the internet.
I know, but at least we're showing them how to measure and do offset and width and everything.
Correct.
So that's what we're gonna talk about today. And of course, this is gonna be this guy's video. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be in it.
No, you're gonna be here.
Well, I'm gonna ask questions behind the camera.
Here's a wheel.
Here's a wheel. Yes. So we're
really excited to show you it.
Where would you even start it?
So you figure out what bolt pattern your car is. This is a BMW. Back after regularly scheduled in and out programming.
All right. So
what?
Tell us the first step on how to measure a wheel.
Well, first you gotta find out what wheel you could get. So you can go online or you can measure it. See these holes? Every wheel is different. It's got different holes.
Right.
You gotta use the right holes because if the holes don't match up, then it's the wrong holes.
But how many holes are there when they have wheels? Of course, that one has 5, right? Clearly.
This one, yes, this one has 5. Matters where your holes are. A lot of wheels have 5 holes, but you gotta make sure the measurement. So the proper way to measurement is the measurement between this hole and this hole. You just go across. So this is a 5 by 120. 5 holes, 120 millimeters apart. You want to grab a tape measure? If you go center to center right here, it's 120 millimeters.
I did not know that.
So that's where you start. You start with your bolt pattern. So you can Google it, you can measure it, easy way, just put like, hey, I have a 2008 BMW M3. What is my bolt pattern? It'll say 5 by 120. So 5 holes, this spacing is 120 millimeters apart. Sometimes you might get a little specific based on your stud size. That is bolt pattern. Sometimes you have to worry about lug size or diameter. These could be bolts or studs. If you get a bigger stud, sometimes you need an M14, and then it depends if it fits in the hole, and they're different size holes. Then it goes to overall diameter. If you measure this is a 19-inch wheel. This is not 19 inches. This is bigger than 19. So it's technically the inner bead of the wheel where the tire sits is where they measure the diameter, if it's an 18 or 19. Originally, this car base package came with an 18. Fancy package came with a 19. So usually you stay somewhere around there. You can't go too much bigger or smaller. You could probably step it down to a 17 if you want, or you could go up to a 20 if you really want. You usually go like 1 to 2 sizes bigger or smaller depending on your application. What is our application, Kichi? This is a OEM BMW competition wheel. So this is the fancier, bougier package wheel. So it's the bigger, it's a 19. It doesn't offer as much performance aspects because it's a bigger diameter wheel, so you lose tire. So since this is a performance-based car, we want the more tire. So if you look over here, which we can insert a picture or go over there later, but the wheels on the car currently are an 18. So it's a 1 inch.
I can move it. It's not that hard. So go ahead. What is it? 19 what?
These are 18-inch wheels.
Oh, 18-inch wheels. Okay.
So as you see, we have a lot bigger sidewall. We just have a taller tire. So it helps with performance driving. While this is more of a flashy, shiny wheel, so it's a bigger wheel with less tire. Macy, do you have a question for us, for the class?
No comment.
Okay.
So
I was looking for comments. I was looking for questions, but whatever.
No comments, questions, or concerns.
Cool.
do you have any comments, questions, or concerns? Why would we step it down? Why do we want more tire?
Oh, and why? I actually don't know.
More flex. Because this is a thinner sidewall, the tire's not going to move as much. Not move, but like,
Yeah.
it's more of a harder tire. It breaks traction easily because there's less sidewall, because there's less flex and less give.
So on the track, would you say more?
To a point. I mean, you don't want to go to a tire like that truck over there.
Gross.
You don't want to go that big because then too much tire. There's a happy medium.
That's true.
Most performance cars run a 18-inch tire or 18-inch wheel and tire combination.
Makes sense. Okay.
It's proven. It's cheaper. It's just... It is the way it is because of engineering, and I'm not going to explain that. So depending on application, if you go bigger or smaller, then you need to figure out tire size. Usually for every wheel size you go up, you usually drop the second size. For instance, this is an 18-inch wheel. It is a 265, which is the first number. That is 265 millimeters across. That is the
get
width.
close to this because this is something I would like to learn as
It's
well.
upside down. You want me to flip it over? It
That's fine.
says 265,
Like this.
30, 19.
265,
30, 19.
Yes.
So this tire is a 265, 30, 19, as Kichi just showed the people. It is, the first number is 265. So that's 265 millimeters is the width of the contact patch of the tire right here, from this side to this side. Every brand, it's kind of like shoes. They got different sizes, and they all say it's 265s, but if you grab 4 different tires, they're all going to measure 4 different widths. So that's good to know that what tire...
Question time. Question time.
What's your question time?
What is the widest tire that you can get?
I believe it is a 335 or a 345. Someone needs to double check us.
10 years later.
10 years later.
Back from 10 years later, McLaren P1.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm just giving you a list because I got a
Okay.
list of stuff.
Okay.
315.
Okay.
Porsche 918 Spider. 325.
Wow.
GT3 RS.
What?
325.
Wow.
Corvette Z06.
Z06.
335.
What?
Aventador. 335.
Oh, I like.
LaFerrari. 345.
Wow.
Koenigsegg.
Wider than that?
345.
Am I using the right word? Wider?
Wider, thicker.
Thicker. There you go.
Want to know the best one with a 355?
Bugatti Veyron.
Viper.
Viper?
Viper.
What? Well, now you guys know.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Just because it says 265 doesn't mean they're all the same size. Do your research. Some tires run wider, some tires run narrow. Some tires have like squared off shoulders. Some camber better, not camber, curve better. Number, this one's a 30. Aspect ratio number, it's a ratio between the diameter of the wheel and the width is how you get the 30. I don't know the math behind it, but you can Google it if you really care to find out. So usually if you step down a size, like say you're using the same wheel, same width, same everything, but you want to go to an 18. So you would do it's a 285. I thought that's a 265. This is a big tire.
Oh, did? Whoa, what the heck?
Yeah.
I thought it said 265.
It's an 8. So you would do a 285, 35, 18 if you want to step down. So that way the wheel gets one smaller and the tire gets one bigger, which is almost identical to what I have on my car, which I don't remember what tire size I have on my car. So on my car currently, I have a 275, 35, 18. So as you saw, I stepped down from 19 to 18, so my second number went from 30 to 35. That's tire stuff, that's kind of wheel stuff, and then it comes to offset, which is the hardest, most funnest part of getting your fitment dialed in, because most people want their wheel as close as in line with the side of their car as they want. I like pretty close to flush fitment, but I don't like rubbing. I have trimmed my bumper and fender and rolled my quarter panels a lot to make my wheel and tire fit so it's as flush as I can to the body line. But as the suspension cycles, it does not hit or make contact because then it cuts my tires and it rubs it and it doesn't sound good and it doesn't feel good. So the goal is to get it as far out as you can without hitting your car. Because when you hit your car, then it destroys your tires and it burns your panes and everyone's sad and whoever rides in your car think your car is gonna break every time you hit a bump because it's like ee. So offset is measured. So this is a 10-inch wide wheel. So we'll call the middle of the wheel 0. So that's somewhere here in space. So this is a 10-inch wide wheel. From here to here is 10 inches. If you draw an imaginary line down the middle, that is 0. So the distance between here and here right now is that way is positive this way is negative. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if it goes farther out from center, it's positive. If it comes farther in from center, it's negative. So this technically is a positive offset of, I believe, 25. If you don't know, most of the wheels have them stamped in there. If you look right here, it's stamped. It says 20. So this has a 20 offset. There's also other stampings if you look on the back of the wheel. If you want to look right there, can you see that? So it tells me the bolt pattern. So from the center line, it is 20 millimeters farther out. So that is offset. Adjust for this once it's on the car with various sizes of spacers if you would like to run spacers. On my car currently right now, I'm running a 10 millimeter spacer all around. So all my wheels effectively are 10 millimeters wider or farther out. So if you take this number, it's like, say this number is 20. If I add a 10 millimeter spacer to this, it would be 30. I'd be adding it. So it'd be farther out. So technically my offset would be a 30 just to achieve the fitment that I want.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Interesting.
So then if you want to go order wheels that are the proper size, you could you'd be like, hey, I'm running a 20 offset wheel with a 10 millimeter spacer. So then you just order a 30 offset wheel. Most people don't have the money to do that. So that's why they invented spacers. So you can just put spacers on, buy the wheels you want, since it's mass production and they don't want to custom make every wheel to every single person. So you just add spacers to get the fitment that you want. If you have a set of wheels at home and you're trying to figure out exactly what wheel you want, you can measure it. You can measure like 10 millimeters out, 20 millimeters out from your wheel, from your actual wheel to your fender to see roughly where you need to be. Or you can just put spacers on your current wheels. You can take a lot of stock cars, look a lot like 10 times better by just putting spacers on, just to, even with stock wheels, you just get the fitment better and it looks a lot better.
So technically I can take the wheels off of my Aston Martin and figure it out.
Yes.
Figure it out the offset and everything.
You'd get your factory offset, you get your bolt pattern, you know your size based on your tire. One more important key feature that you need to remember if you're ordering new wheels is your hub bore size. Because this hole needs to fit the diameter of your hub bore so it sits on there when you put your wheel on there. Okay. Most of the times, the aftermarket wheels, they're bigger, so they actually have hub-centric rings, which is a plastic ring that you can put on there so it self-centers. Hub bore needs to be the correct size, so it actually centers on there, so when you tighten your lug nuts, you think it's perfectly tight. It still has some variance in the actual holes from your studs. So the purpose of the hub-centric hub ring is to center your wheel on your hub, because if you don't have it, it's like a smaller hole in a bigger hole, it's a little sloppy, and it doesn't center itself perfectly, so you'll get vibrations when you're driving. So that's why make sure your hub bore size is the same, or if you get a hub-centric ring. If you guys have any questions, please leave it down below. Okay, so the width of your wheels also depends very highly on your offset. So you need to figure out what width wheel you're running before you figure out what offset you're running, because you can run into interference of your inner barrel of your wheel touching suspension parts. It could touch your control arms if you're turning left and right. It could touch the springs on your shock.
Question time for me.
Why do you have a torch and a tape measure?
The question is, I don't know. I just grabbed random tools. So let's just say if some of the viewers are watching this, do they need any tools? Like
yes, you need this. You take this.
No, this is a joke.
This is not a joke. You take this, you like clean it up. See, it's like it's like Armor All. You see it?
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Oh, it's brand new now. Hey.
It's like Armor All.
Or do they need this?
My car dirty.
Yeah.
What tools do we need?
Yes.
Tape measures are nice. Calipers are nice.
What? Calipers.
Calipers.
Not brake calipers.
What kind of calipers, Macy?
10 years later.
10 years later. All right, so show us how to do it with calipers.
So calipers are nice because, hey guys.
That's actually kind of cool. That was cool.
I got my new microphone here now. You can use tape measures, but they're not as accurate. I know most of you guys are kind of like me, and there's a lot of little lines, and all the little lines kind of scare you. And you don't know how many does what. So get yourself a nice pair of calipers. My batteries are dead right now, so I can't show you, but usually you turn it on, and digitally, it will tell you numbers on how you can change between millimeters and inches. Nice. So I like to achieve perfectly flush fitment. I have achieved that.
You did.
If not, if my wheel was farther in, I would put this on here, put this thing right there, zero it out so I don't measure that distance, and I'll put this like right there flat against that. And then for hypothetical reasons, since my wheel's already here, I would slide this in until it touches the face of my wheel. And then there, digitally, it would tell me how many millimeters away I need to pull the wheel out. So let's pretend my fender's here. If I go here to here, and it gives me that number. That's about 50 millimeters. I mean, that's way more than normal. So say my wheel was farther sunken in, say my fender's hypothetically here, and this is the measurement I got until it touches my wheel. So that gap is about 15 millimeters. So I know I need like a 15 millimeter spacer to be perfectly flush like that. So this is my little ghetto tool on figuring out what fit I exactly need for my spacers. It's just a flat edge and a caliper.
Sorry, no, we can't.
You'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week. That is my way of measuring. I mean, I've already achieved what I'm trying to achieve here. These are my dogs. We went over bolt pattern. We went over lugs or bolts right now. Then we went over wheel size, diameter. We went over tire size. We went over offset. We didn't go too much or over wheel width, but your wheel width depends on your offset. So it depends which one you're going with, and your wheel width and your offset both depend on if you have any interferences on the inside between control arms or shocks or any of that. You don't want to put too wide of a wheel that you can't even bolt it on because it hits your shocks. In my case, my front wheels, I can't run them without a spacer because the back of the wheel actually hits my coilover. So I need the spacer to space it out farther so it doesn't hit my coilover. If you run too wide of a wheel, if you turn your wheel all the way, sometimes if you have like a lower A-arm, it might hit your control arm. I've had a couple Mustangs that I put too wide of wheels on, and you turn your wheel, it's because the inside of the wheel is rubbing on a control arm.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Oh, another website you guys should check out is willtheyfit.com. You can put your existing wheel setup and put all your data for your new wheel setup. So basically you put your current wheel diameter, width, and your tire size, and then you can put your new wheel width, diameter, and tire size, and it shows you a comparison. It'll tell you how much taller, how much wider, how much more inboard or outboard or whatever they're going to fit. So willtheyfit.com and Fitment Industries.
But all right, well, thank you guys for watching this video.
See you
Don't
next
forget
week.
to subscribe, like, and comment. No, like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification button. And just like that.
See you guys next week.
Say bye.
Kona out.
All right, so everybody comment down below. Say bye to Kona, and maybe she will show up to next video. Boom.